Good evening, you guys. It's me, Kianna, coming at you. And it's late, and the kids are either asleep or about to go to sleep. Um, Daddy's talking to a neighbor right now. And I was just sitting here, just, thinking about some things. In this video, uh, it's a naked moment for me because you guys know how sometimes people can be silly. And when you share, people use that and turn it around. So, in order to protect ourselves and to protect, things that we'll have to, feel like we have to, answer or respond to, or to not have to go there in a sense, sometimes we have to evaluate and rethink if we should share certain things. But as always on my channel, I've always shared, despite how a little hesitant I may have been. Even if you didn't see it, trust me, I was hesitant a lot of times. Um, but I share with a purpose. I've always shared with a purpose. One of the purposes is I do believe that if I'm going through something, then I know I can't be alone. I know I can't be alone. See, I'm not one of those people that think they're so special. They're so special that nobody else on earth has had their situation or worse. I'm not that person. So I know, in knowing that, I know that the things that I share, I know that it's going to speak to someone. Now, it may speak to people on different levels, and that's great because that means that my one message can reach hundreds and thousands in hundreds of thousands different ways. And that's what a testimony is supposed to do. I always tell people, because they always, I have people sometimes, even now to this day, I have people throwing up things that I've said, things that I did 3 years ago on my channel. And it's kind of weird because they constantly, like, why is that on your mind? Being that that's somebody else's life, why is that on your mind? And now I come to the conclusion that it's all they have. It's all they have to justify why they don't like you. It's all they have to hold on to justify, why they don't want to deal with you or roll with you. But yet, they're still here. It doesn't make a connection. It doesn't make sense. And most of sanity, it doesn't make sense to those who are sane. But anyway, I once said, I once answered someone when they said, "Oh, you used to do that. I used to do this." And it's like, you know what? You basically answered and responded in a way that is more perfect than I ever could respond. Because in your daggers and in your digs and in your insults, by saying what I used to do, you made my point for me. I didn't even have to speak because you used the key word, used to. And when we all come to a conclusion and an understanding that we all have a used to testimony inside of us, then when we try to attack people, when we try to insult people and talk about and bring up what they used to say or what they said in their past, it actually falls short. In fact, it actually highlights a lot of different things about them. See, it's more them than it is you, honey. And we live in a society with a lot of broken women. And I'm speaking to women because that's the majority of my audience. We live in a society where a lot of women have been beaten down by life. And this is not an insult. In fact, I'm empathizing with those type of people because Not everybody handles situations the same way. And sometimes people have went through so much in their lives that it's almost justified why they're broken. So it's not an issue I have with people being broken. Sometimes I have an issue with people being broken and not looking to be fixed or not looking to be healed, because that's what it's going to take. Because that brokenness is going to manifest itself in other ways. It may manifest itself in just because when you see somebody else enjoying life and having joy and smiling and enjoying every aspect of living, it may make you feel angry. It may make you feel some sort of way. And it's sad. It's sad because we all deserve to be at that place. And it's sad because I see a lot of women. I also see a lot of mature women, and I mean mature meaning in age-wise. Certainly not mindset, but definitely in numbers only. And I see a lot of older, mature, broken women. And it's sad because a lot of people leave this earth and still are those broken little girls. It's sad. It's sad because I look at myself and look at the things that I've been through and the times where I've been broken. And I can't imagine to still have to carry that. Because that's a heavy, heavy burden, you guys. That's a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden. And being that I have been broken at times, restored, sure, but broken at times, being that I've been broken at times, I can't imagine having to still years and years and years later still have to carry that brokenness. I empathize with those people. I empathize with my sisters that are like that. I really do. So I'm saying all that to say I share with a purpose. Things I share on my channel is not for entertainment. Things that I share on my channel, it's not just to giggle and to laugh. Things that I share on my channel is not for us to always just cry together. Things I share on my channel are so that we, and notice I said we, because I didn't exclude myself. It's so that we can be living, breathing, walking testimonies. What good is a silent testimony? I'm going to say that again. What good is it to have a silent testimony? Now, in sharing your testimony, it's going to be some struggles. It's going to be some uphill battles. It's going to be some daggers. It's going to be some slurs. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There's going to be a lot of broken women that are going to, rather than look at the message, they're going to look at the source and focus on the source. Rather than looking deep and not worrying about the external. Stop worrying about the carnal things, superficial things. And when we listen to the message with our ears and our heart, guess what? That can usher in wholeness, healing, deliverance. But when you do not have a silent testimony, know that there are going to be some growing pains. But honey, it's so many people that are going to be led in the direction of healing, led in the direction of restoration, led into the direction of wholeness, and knowing that they are not alone, and knowing that they're not weird, They're not strange, but rather knowing that if you made it through, then guess what? I can too. If she was healed, guess what? I can be healed too. If she was delivered, guess what? I can be delivered too. Because we're not that perfect. We're not that special. We're not that special. That what God gives and bestows into me, that He cannot give to you. And this is why I share. This is why I've always shared. It don't look pretty. Don't sound pretty. It's not all dressed up in a pretty bow. Sometimes in sharing, you share things that show you as wrong as two left shoes. But guess what? When you don't have a solid testimony, people understand and appreciate where you are today more if they're able to see and go back to where you were yesterday. See, we can all sit around and talk about what we did or what we used to be. Where's the proof? Some of us need things that's tangible. Some of us need to see it. We need to have a witness to it. You can talk about all day long, oh, I used to have this, I used to be this. It's talk. But when I can say, oh yeah, I used to be this, and let me direct you to seeing it for yourself with your own eyes. Oh yeah, it's been a journey, sister. Let me show you some of it. Girl, I was healed, delivered, and restored. Made all over again. Don't believe me? Look at me back then. Look at me good. And then, look at me today. How you like me now? That's when we have, or when we don't have, a silent testimony. Not everybody can handle not having a silent testimony. Not everybody is meant to have a out loud, bold testimony. And many people can say, oh, well, that's your calling. That's what's placed on your heart or your life. No. He heals and delivers you. He restores you to share it with others. Not to be selfish and to just take it all in and to think you are so on the money and so all that He did that just for you. No, baby, it's much bigger than you. It's much bigger than you. Now, sure, you may don't have to stand up and shout from the mountaintops to millions of people. May not even have to shout to thousands. But your testimony is in you for a reason that is far greater than just you being healed and delivered. The beauty is, in your deliverance and your healing of one, that can birth healing and deliverance for thousands, millions. That blueprint, that imprint can go on and on and on and on. And it can affect so many people in so many different ways. See how grand God is? Not you. Notice I didn't say how grand you are, how grand I am. But do you see how grand God is? You see how powerful that is? One of my most beloved verses in the Bible, and I'm not going to quote it verbatim, but I was talking it over with Daddy when he was teaching me something the other day when we were doing devotions. And I said, you know what? God is so good. And I know everybody says this saying, God is good. And the next person says what? All the time. I know it's a lot of, you know, YouTube and Facebook Christians that know all the right things to say and all the right things to quote. And I know it's a lot of them out there. It's a lot of them. But when we really think of how powerful God is, this verse will really meditate on this. And it just makes me say, how amazing, how grand He is. Again, I'm not going to quote it verbatim because I can't right now, but it basically says, I am, so therefore it is. Imagine somebody coming in a room and saying, I am, so therefore it is. We would turn around and look at them like, who do you... First of all, we're going to look them up and down from head to toe. Who do you think you are? He is the only man that could say, and we get it, and we understand, I am, so therefore it is. What an awesome God we serve. What an awesome God we serve. I am, so therefore it is. So I just wanted to talk about why I share. A lot of people say, well, you boast about never taking down videos, and I've taken down some that, that I didn't think that was necessary, whether it's because I've talked over my husband or maybe it was in my spirit, dropped in my spirit to put it on private setting. But for the most part, I don't embrace my videos. Not because I'm big bad Kianna, but because you have to be able to, in order to be able to appreciate where I am today, who I am today, sometimes people need tangible evidence. Sometimes people need, something that they can actually see for themselves rather than hearing me talk about what I've been through, rather than hearing what I used to be. No, in order to fully appreciate where I am today, sometimes you have to see where I was yesterday. And although sometimes it comes with a lot of pain, sometimes it comes with hurt, sometimes it comes from embarrassment, sometimes all of these things, people can use it against you and all of that kind of stuff. But how many people know that God will give you the strength to endure? Because He knows your heart. He knows your purpose, your truest purpose. He's going to see you through. Whatever pain people try to inflict on you, He's going to restore you. He's going to give you strength enough to say, you know what? Dodge it every time. And even if a couple of them hit you, He's going to give you strength enough to be able to say, next. It's a process, though. See, the Kianna that you see today was not always like that. Not because I was weak, but because my heart was tender, and it still is. But He's shown me who to be tender to. He's shown me when to be tender. He's given me wisdom. He's given me and poured more discernment into me. So it's a process. But again, that process is part of what? My testimony. And I refuse to have a silent testimony. What do you choose to do? I send this with all the love that I know, and I thank you all for riding with me. Please thumbs up this video. It continues to to encourage me, to push me to continue to share. Because as I said before, I truly do so with a purpose. And I hope that many of you see that. I thank you all. Talk to you guys later. And be blessed.